Look up at the night sky. What you see is just the beginning of a much bigger story. Beyond the twinkling stars, there's a new kind of traffic jam happening right now. Thousands of satellites racing around Earth in a silent, high-speed ballet. These satellites aren't just for weather forecasts or snapping photos from space anymore. They're at the center of a global race to control the future of the internet. A race that's reshaping how we connect, communicate, and share information. Imagine having super-fast internet access anywhere on the planet, whether you're sailing in the middle of the ocean, camping on a remote mountain, or living in a tiny village far from any city. That's the promise of satellite internet, to bring the world online no matter where you are. For billions of people who still don't have reliable connections, this could be their first real chance to get online, opening doors to education, jobs, and new opportunities. It could connect doctors in rural villages to specialists in big cities, helping save lives with instant access to medical knowledge, or let kids in remote areas join online classes, giving them the same learning opportunities as students in major cities. But this technology is also at the heart of a fierce competition, a new kind of space race. But this time, it's about who will control the world's digital highways. The main players? The United States, led by SpaceX's ambitious Starlink project, which is already launching thousands of satellites into orbit, and China, determined to build its own massive satellite network, making sure it isn't left behind in this technological revolution. This isn't just about business or technology, it's about power, influence, and who gets to set the rules for our digital world. The stakes are higher than ever. In the past, satellite internet was slow, expensive, and often a last resort for those with no other options. Now, companies are launching mega constellations, swarms of thousands of small, low-orbit satellites that work together to blanket the globe with coverage. These new satellites deliver internet that's fast and responsive, almost like having fiber optic cables beamed down from the sky, making lag and slow speeds a thing of the past. So who's winning this race, and what does it mean for all of us? The answer could change the way the world connects. On one side, there's Starlink, already changing the game and bringing high-speed internet to places that never had it before. On the other, China is moving fast, determined not to be left behind and investing heavily in its own satellite technology. This high-stakes showdown will shape global communication, politics, and even military strategy for decades to come, affecting everything from business to national security. So let's dive into the incredible story unfolding above our heads, a story that could redefine the future of the internet for everyone on Earth. When it comes to satellite internet, Starlink leads the pack, setting a new standard for global connectivity. Run by SpaceX, Starlink has launched over 7,500 satellites, more than anyone else ever. Their secret? Reusable rockets, which have revolutionized the economics of space launches. SpaceX's Falcon 9 can launch satellites weekly, then return to Earth for another flight. This rapid turnaround was once thought impossible, but now it's routine. This relentless pace has given Starlink a massive head start, allowing them to build a dense, interconnected web of satellites in low Earth orbit. Starlink's satellites are small and orbit close to Earth, providing fast, low-latency internet that rivals traditional broadband in many places. That means smooth video calls, streaming, and even online gaming, things old satellite tech couldn't handle. For people in rural or remote areas, this is a game-changer. Starlink is already serving millions in over 70 countries, connecting communities that were once left behind by traditional internet providers. Its impact goes beyond business. After disasters like the Tonga tsunami, Starlink restored communications, helping emergency responders coordinate relief efforts and reconnect families. In Ukraine, Starlink became a lifeline for the military and civilians during the Russian invasion, keeping vital lines of communication open when other networks failed. This proved that satellite internet isn't just a product, it's a strategic asset, capable of shaping the outcome of conflicts and supporting national security. Starlink's success has put the world on notice, especially China, which now sees the importance of having its own satellite network. Now China is racing to build its own network, determined not to be left behind in this new era of space-based internet. The competition is no longer just commercial, it's geopolitical, with nations vying for control over the next frontier of global communications. The stakes have never been higher, as the world watches a new space race unfold, one that will shape the future of how we connect and communicate. As the world watched Starlink's meteoric rise, China paid close attention, recognizing the enormous potential and the risks of falling behind in the satellite internet race. Chinese leaders quickly realized they needed their own advanced network, and they needed it fast to secure their place in the new era of global connectivity. Enter Guowang, China's ambitious state-backed initiative to launch nearly 13,000 satellites into low Earth orbit, creating a vast digital web above the planet. Managed by the powerful China Satellite Network Group, Guowang enjoys massive resources, cutting-edge technology, and unwavering support from the highest levels of government. But Guowang isn't alone. There's also Qianfan, a major commercial project with plans to launch 6,500 satellites, adding another layer to China's space ambitions. In China, the line between private enterprise and the state is often blurred. Qianfan works hand-in-hand with government agencies, aligning its goals with the nation's broader strategy. Together, Guowang and Qianfan could launch close to 20,000 satellites, creating one of the largest satellite constellations the world has ever seen. China's ambition isn't just to join the satellite internet market, it's to lead it, aiming for dominance on a truly global scale. This two-pronged approach allows the government to make massive investments and set the direction, while commercial players bring speed and innovation to the table. The message is clear: China wants a global, Chinese-controlled alternative to Starlink, one that can reach every corner of the planet. This is about more than just technology. It's about global influence, digital sovereignty, and securing independence from foreign control. China is determined not to rely on American technology for something as critical as the internet, especially as digital infrastructure becomes a new battleground. The space race has a new front, and China is investing everything it can to win, launching rockets and deploying satellites at an unprecedented pace. The world is watching closely, wondering if China can catch up or even surpass the competition in this high-stakes race. The next moves by Guowang and Qianfan will help shape the future of global connectivity, and could redefine who controls the world's digital highways. China isn't just planning, they're launching satellites at breakneck speed. In the past year, Chinese rocket launches have surged, with new satellites going up every few weeks. This launch blitz is powered by state-of-the-art factories and new launch sites like Wenchang. China's government has made satellite internet a national priority, pouring in billions. Unlike the US, where private companies lead, China's push is centrally planned and state-funded. The China Satellite Network Group faces fewer financial risks, focusing purely on rapid deployment. New reusable rockets are in development, aiming to cut costs and boost launch frequency. China plans to deploy thousands of satellites every year for the next decade. It's an all-out sprint to catch up with Starlink. The race is on, and China is accelerating fast. China's satellite internet push isn't just about streaming movies, it's about national security. The war in Ukraine showed how Starlink gave the Ukrainian military a huge edge: secure communications, drone control, and coordination, even after ground networks were destroyed. China can't risk relying on a US company for such critical capabilities. Guowang ensures China's military has secure, independent communications that can't be shut off by an adversary. These constellations also enable surveillance, tracking, and potentially even offensive capabilities. China accuses Starlink of military uses and is developing its own counter-space technologies. The space above us is becoming a potential battlefield. This rivalry is about more than business. It's about who controls the new high ground. Both the US and China see satellite mega-constellations as essential for 21st century security. Whoever controls low Earth orbit will have a decisive advantage. The internet is now deeply tied to global power. China's ambitions go global, tying Guowang to its Belt and Road Initiative. By offering satellite internet to developing nations, China deepens political and economic ties. This digital Silk Road exports Chinese technology and standards, making other countries more dependent on its ecosystem. But there are concerns. China's model of internet censorship could spread, splitting the world into open and restricted internets. Countries choosing between Starlink and Guowang are also choosing between digital freedom and state control. The competition is about more than tech, it's a battle of ideas. The choices made now will shape digital rights for billions. China's rapid progress faces real challenges. Early satellites have suffered failures. Building reliable, long-lasting spacecraft is tough. China's rockets aren't yet fully reusable, making launches costlier and slower than SpaceX's. SpaceX's years of operational experience give it a big edge in managing huge constellations. China is still learning and mistakes are inevitable. Supply chain issues and US trade restrictions on advanced components add more hurdles. Developing domestic alternatives takes time and money. Catching up isn't just about ambition, it's about overcoming steep, technical, and logistical obstacles. The road to a functioning Chinese network is long and complex. The US-China rivalry is driving rapid innovation. SpaceX is launching bigger, more powerful V2 satellites with laser links, creating a mesh network in space. Starship, their next-gen rocket, could launch hundreds of satellites at once. China is pouring billions into R&D, developing advanced satellites and reusable rockets. Chinese companies are testing vertical landing tech, racing to match SpaceX's reusability. China is also experimenting with different orbits and advanced ground stations. Both sides are pushing boundaries, making satellite internet faster, cheaper, and more resilient. This competition is a classic case of rivalry fueling progress. The result? Faster innovation and a rapidly changing future for global communications. The world will benefit, but the stakes are high. The satellite internet race raises big questions. Who should control the infrastructure that connects us all? Private companies, governments? The answer will shape our future. The sky is crowded and the rules are still being written. The potential is huge, connecting the unconnected, unlocking economic opportunities and saving lives. But there are risks: concentration of power, surveillance, censorship, and a new digital divide. The weaponization of space is now a reality. We need a global conversation and international agreements to keep space safe and open. Should we be excited or concerned? The answer is both. As thousands more satellites launch, we must ask, what kind of connected future do we want? The story is still being written, and we all have a role to play. The future of the internet is above our heads.